Alright, this is a prophecy update as of August the 21st, 2026 on this Friday night. So with that, all praise will be to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Kakadash, and Barakathon to the elders and apostles, Ma'aki and Ma'akwath, and I say Shalom. And this is a news article from Al Jazeera as of August the 21st, 2026. It reads, as been seeing on and off back and forth tensions between Iran and the United States and who's got control of the Strait of Hormuz between Iran and the United States. And then as you have Trump trying to still declare as the Strait of Hormuz as the United States territory, and then Iran was denying the fact that the United States controlled the Strait of Hormuz and making it as the United States territory, and because Iran is going to make sure that's not going to happen. So as of right now, I would say two key factors about the tensions between the United States and Iran. It's about who's controlling the Strait of Hormuz, and second, it's been an economical war between Iran and the United States. It switched from a nuclear war, now switching to an economical war. It's the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6. It says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars," right? On and off wars and rumors of wars, on and off economical wars, on and off nuclear wars between these armies of nations, and that's what we are seeing. It says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet." Right. So this Russia versus Ukraine situation is only going to intensify, and then you got Iran versus the Israel Defense Force. You got the Houthi rebels and the pro-Iranian groups going against the Israel Defense Force and its allies. And then you got the Houthi rebels versus you got the Houthi rebels that are allies to Iran, which is a pro-Iranian group, and the proxy groups going against Saudi Arabia. That's heating up over there in the Mediterranean Sea. So these are signs of uptick of wars and rumors of wars. So we definitely see these economical wars and rumors of wars. Nuclear wars and economical wars, as we've mentioned this for the past couple of days, as of recently. It says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but then it's not yet." Matthew 24 and verse 7. "For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom." So we see in North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, that's heating up. We're seeing China versus Taiwan, that's heating up. We're seeing China, Philippines, that's been heating up. And all these escalations and tensions are heating up between these nations from an economical perspective and from a nuclear war perspective as of lately. This is the book of Luke 21 and verse 25. It says, "There shall be signs of the sun, and the moon, and the stars, and upon the earth progressive nations with perplexity and virgin born." Right, so that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the nations are in perplexity and the seas virgin born. This is only going to continue to increase, continue to see the signs of it. And of course, we've been seeing the signs of the sun and the stars as well too. With the recent solar eclipse that Yahushua showed us and spoke about as well too. And then, of course, after right along with that, we're seeing the nations are in perplexity, increasing on a day-to-day basis. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3, verse 1. Like a time for everything. It says, "To everything there is a season and a time of every purpose in heaven." Right? So all these modern day uptick of biblical signs of that we see in the world today is only going to continue to increase. It's going to continue to show forth. This is Ecclesiasticus 3 and verse 8. It says, "In a time to love, and a time of HATE, and a time of war, time of peace." Right? So we still live in a time of HATE, and we still live in a time of war. Right along with the economical war, nuclear wars. 1044 called Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Hashem, Kakadash. It says, Trump says Taiwan is not ready for a right deal as Iran's military threatens devastating response. Yeah, so wars and rumors of wars definitely heating up once again between the United States and Iran. Of the Strait of Hormuz. The battle of the Strait of Hormuz between the armies of nations. It says Iran warns of crushing response as Washington prepares a sweeping sanctions. It says Trump is swift. It says Trump is shifting from an economic war against Iran and thus not mean our military options are limited. It says Israeli army settlers unalive to Palestinians in a separate incident. Right, because as of late, we definitely seeing tensions been heating up over there in the Gaza Strip, West Bank, and Palestinian territory. It says Netanyahu calls Turkey president anti-Ismail had a dictator at the Turkey issue arrest warrant. Yeah, so tension between Turkey and Israel seems like it's heating back up once again. And that's another sign of wars and rumors of wars. It says oil rises as Trump threatens sanctions on Iran partners. Yeah, another sign of economical wars. It says the Ethiopian ban dispute in Egypt's right to self-defense. It says Iran says Tehran must overcome the unjust sanctions as U.S. ramp up economic pressure. I wouldn't be surprised Iran do the same thing as well to do some sanctions on the United States. It says escalating attacks on Palestinian medics deepening a West Bank health crisis as treatment options shrink. Right, so like I mentioned again, the tensions are definitely heating up over there in the West Bank and Palestinian territory over there in the Gaza Strip as well too. It's the book of Luke 21. In verse 25, it says, there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and upon the earth disgrace of nations will like seals rule. Right, so with the uptick of different biblical signs that take place in our world today, that's what we're seeing. The nations are in perplexity. This only continues to increase, even though it's been up and down, back and forth. It's going to continue to show forth this year. It says oil tankers going to dock invade Iran attack rises on major oil spill West Gulf in Gulf. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because Iran, Iran is not. Iran is not want a deal with the United States. So what he's saying that is not true. It says over 750 U.S. service members has been wounded in Iran, the Pentagon numbers revealed. It says a total of 18 U.S. soldiers have been unalive and 756 wounded in the U.S.-Iran war, and the numbers has risen despite recent ceasefire efforts. It It says Syrian foreign minister says Damascus molding a Mecca defense pact but rejects strengthening Iran ties. It says Israel's new Syrian dilemma. Netanyahu, Russia's playbook, faces Turkey's test. Yeah, it's the Ezekiel 38th chapter. Iran's Caliph calls for a strategic to counter the toughest U.S. sanctions threat. Yeah, another economical sanction, economical war. All right, so with that, this was just a quick prophecy updates as of August the 21st, 2026 on this Friday night. So as we start to see things are balancing with these biblical prophecies, especially with these economical wars and all these biblical science prophecies, increasingly taking place in our world today, and this only will continue to increase, despite the fact that nations might push for peace deals and ceasefire agreements. But these biblical science prophecies only going to continue to increase. It's not going to let up. We're seeing signs of it. So as I mentioned once again, this is a prophecy updates as of August the 21st, 2026 on this Friday night. So hopefully this was edifying, like I mentioned once before. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Yahweh, and the Heavenly Father. The true name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Hashem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in ancient Paleo Hebrew, from our trust at the time. And I said, Barakathon to the elders and apostles, Wahaki and Wahakwa. Until next time, we say, Kwame Shalom, and about